In the industry, there is a silent homophobia. It's not visible, but it's there.
It's not exhausting for straight people to talk about their straightness all the time. Why should it be exhausting for a gay person to talk about his gayness?
My mom used to, at one point of time, I remember, like, I think she used to own at least like close to 60 pairs of sledges, and my obsession came from there, so.
You never hear of people being called, the straight director says this, but I'm tired and sick of being tagged only, the only openly gay director. Hello, I'm a filmmaker, that's my identity, you know, and don't tag me all the time because I'm beyond that. You know, that's not my only, I'm not ashamed of my identity, but that's a part of my identity. You know, that's not my professional identity. You know, I will not deny it because I know in this milieu, in this country, it's important to assert it. But I feel I've been bracketed, punished in a way because of that.
You'd have just one word that you would say all the time. You know what that word is? For me, coming out has been a journey, and again, you never really stop. And it's the same for straight people, I think, you know. I think straight people also always come out as straight in whatever way they can. Actually more, they rub their straightness in our faces all the time. So likewise, but I think for LGBT people or anyone who feels that they're different in any way, it's a journey, and it's a journey of coming out to yourself first and developing the confidence and saying, I might be different from the majority, but I'm as special as anyone else, and my desires are as valid and as relevant and as beautiful. So I think it's a journey of first, it's a journey both inward, where you have to articulate to yourself, and then you choose to articulate it to others over the course of your life.
I think it's a taboo in India, but it should not be like taken to be a taboo. Obviously, that's a very normal thing.
It's very disheartening to see how these people are treated.
Then at times we see people in metro, and when a transgender enters the metros, people start looking at them. I think that's the main issue, that's the main thing when we actually start assuming that yes, something needs to be done for them.
Why would there be a different attitude towards them? They are not different people.
The other day I was thinking of the 4 films that has been released of mine. You know, for me, my brother Nikhil is not a gay film. Okay, the central protagonist was gay. But today when they talk of the top 5 films which deal with brother-sister relationship, they always talk of my brother Nikhil. Okay. And my second film and third film had nothing to do with, you know, yeah, and my fourth film, only one small part. So actually maybe of my career, only a very small section has actually dealt with gay theme, if I call it. I don't even like to care. For me, they're just people that you're dealing with. But I suppose it's also because I've been very open about myself.
So there's
Open about it?
yeah, very.
Sweet. I didn't have too much of a trouble going to school or college because, like I said, the way I am, I've always been very confident of who I am, and like, I'd rather say I bullied people in school. We were like the mean girls. I had a bunch of friends. We were like 6 girlfriends, and yeah, we were the mean girls. So we bullied people. Yeah, but then, I mean, of course, like me, like, you know, being different, even in school, I did have a few bullies who were like, oh no, like, you're so girly, like, you know, very crass words were thrown at me, but then I think that's what has pushed me into becoming who I am. I mean, like, confident and strong, because I've never let anybody fuck with me, so yeah.
Recently we hosted the UN Free and Equal team from New York, representatives of Ban Ki-moon, the UN Secretary General, we had Selina Jaitley, we had about 30 visitors from corporate India, from other leading corporate Indian companies, who are all looking towards Godrej and, like, you know, saying, can we emulate the Godrej model? It's interesting, but our thing to them was, why haven't you done it so far? Do you really think that you can, in this you know, beautiful, complex, competitive India where we're fighting for talent, where we're, do you really think that you can run a company where you can treat some people less equally? I mean, it doesn't make sense. So why are we doing this? Because our values prohibit us from doing this. The second thing is it's a market out there where you compete for talent. Why do you want to create a workplace where you don't value people equally? I mean, enough research has shown that when you are LGBT friendly, it's not just LGBT talent that gravitates to you. In today's world, young India, it's not an issue. So many people who apply to us happen to be straight, and they're like, you know, we're straight, but we love it that you're so LGBT friendly and we want to work for you. Enough research has shown that the more diverse you are as a group, the more innovative you become, because you have different viewpoints, different orientations, different backgrounds, different histories. And you want to encourage that in a company, because again, in a world where products and services are ubiquitous, what will define you from your peers is first your values, what you believe in, and secondly, how rapidly you can innovate and change for the future. So the more diversity you have, the easier it is for you to innovate. So it makes complete business sense, but it's like common sense to us, which is why I'm like, just so surprised why other companies are not doing this. And I hope that other companies will do it, because while the courts take their time, while society changes slowly, I think the onus is on corporate India, on our colleges and our institutions, to push this out there and say, this is the modern India that we want to live in, that our founding fathers imagined we would live in, where everyone is equal and everyone is respected. Welcome to my world. Should I walk towards you like and singing Chalba, Chalba, fashion?
In the industry, there is a silent homophobia. It's not visible, but it's there, because you go to studios and, you know, they say that, oh, we want to do something with you, but I've been told we don't, you know, as a studio policy, we don't want to do anything which deals with violence or sexuality, you know. So firstly, assumption. Two, you put these two together, and I feel sad. Today, a film like I Am, which got 2 national awards, you know, I have fought the censor board. I've been awarded by the government, which is like an irony, because every private channel, which are the satellite channel, refused to telecast my films. So what is it? You know, so the spaces which is actually supposed to be more liberal is stopping my voice to reach out because of a certain, you know. So I feel that is there, you know, be it with, it's all silent, you know, because today if you really look at why is it that people talk much more openly for animal rights than even still today, you know, how many people from the film industry would be willing to come for a Pride March?
What kind of music? Such a random music. I don't know, I feel good whenever I make love. It just makes me feel good. I grew up the way I am. I mean, like, my mother never stopped me. I mean, like, I have pictures of me when I was 3 years old at my mom's stilettos. My obsession for my shoes started with my mother's shoes, because she's a doctor, and I remember that she used to go for operations even in her stilettos, so my obsession came from there. I think I own at least close to 30 pairs of shoes. I don't know, I have my trainers and all of that. I have my flat boots, but then yeah, mostly stilettos and boots, which are high.
I realized that why would people want to, what is this whole come out nonsense? Why do you need to be bracketed? Why do you need to be, gay to come out in the streets and support human rights? Everyone should. But people, why are they not doing it? They will tweet about it or whatever, but they will not come on TV easily, because they know that there is this prejudice, and that is an awareness that maybe I was stupid. Sometimes I think, though I don't think I would change anything, but I feel that very often I have not. I'm sometimes also tired. That people will always call me up. There's a transgender fashion show happening. Would you like to comment? Why? Of course I will comment, but why me?
Georgina, who came and she wanted hostel.
Yeah.
So I thought, so it was like letting a fox. But why not SCM?
For me, sexuality is an intrinsic part of my daily life. And it's not just for me, for everyone, for all of us. I mean, that's my thing. I don't see why people have to ask these questions to homosexuals. Heterosexuals think of sexuality as an intrinsic part of their daily life as well. They think of the heterosexuality as part of their daily life, whether they are dating, whether they're single, whether they are married, whether they're in families. It's very much a part of their daily life. It's very publicly lived as a part of their daily life. Likewise for LGBT people as well. I mean, for all of us. We have multiple components to our identity, and one of them happens to be who we desire, who we choose to love, who we are oriented towards loving.
I'm very androgynous. I mean, like, I wouldn't say that I cross-dress, but then, yeah, of course I'm wearing a dress right now, but then I wouldn't put on, like, what do you say, fake boobs or a wig or anything like that. It's just, I think, like, I'm very androgynous, so I think that's the thing, the way I am. I've not pretended to be someone else who I'm not. So, I don't know, it's just come right since the beginning. It's not something that I planned or did or anything. It's just very natural.
People ask me why drag? Well, because the effeminate gay man, the masculine lesbian is a part of my community and they're largely ostracized. Even some of the supporters of the LGBTIQ community feel that it's okay to be LGBTIQ as long as you don't overdress or go over the top. I know what they mean. They mean drag. When an effeminate gay man, even if not for comic relief, is shown on TV, they cringe. Each of us, men, has a feminine side to us. That man has the guts to flaunt it. They are a part of our community. In fact, there is no them and us. It's we. So when people ask me why drag, I ask them back, why not?
I have people talking. Like yesterday, there was a journalist who asked me, how does it feel to play the queer role? I was stunned. I'm not playing any role. I'm myself. So that's what I mean. That sometimes it's tiresome, to get bracketed, because at the end of it, I'm a storyteller. I'm a filmmaker, and yes, this is one of the things that touch me. But also in my films, women characters are extremely strong, but I'm not a woman. So why is that, never, out there? When I'm portraying characters, gay characters, I want to show them as quote-unquote normal, because that's a very dangerous word, because for me, I want to show them as people going through crisis in life like anybody else.
My mother always told me that you're an individual and you will always be an individual. So I think that's again something which has been imprinted in my head, saying that, like, you know, if I have a support system from a family like mine, I mean, nothing can stop me. Oh yeah, my style is very androgynous, so I would, like today for that matter, I mean, like I could wear these, but I mean I could wear it with stilettos, just like, you know, open stilettos, but I prefer to wear it with boots rather than showing everything out. So yeah, very, like, I could team up a pair of jeans with like knee-length high stiletto boots and just a nice jacket and put on like a scarf or something like that, and of course my handbag. So
And vice versa, like all the stuff that he talks about, especially in and then so that was together. And my mom outed me because it was very, I mean, she didn't out me, but, you know, I wanted to discuss it with her, and I was like, you know, I think I might be gay. And she was like, you think, or you're sure? And I was like, okay, I'm sure. And then she said, so what do you want for dinner? And it was quite anticlimactic because she's like, really, it's no big deal. I don't know why you're making such a fuss about it. I was at MIT. I had organized this big LGBT film festival. It was the first ever huge LGBT film festival on the East Coast. And my photograph and the fact that we were doing this festival was on the front page of the BBC website. And I hadn't come out to my dad, so all my friends and from Bombay were calling, and they were saying, I was in Boston, they were saying, the BBC says that you're gay. And I was like, well, you know, they have a reputation for excellence, so you must believe them. And then they were like, have you told your dad? And so I hadn't. So I had to call him, because before someone sends him this link and says, you know, your son is gay and it's on the BBC, I had to tell him. And it was interesting. I think he took, you know, it wasn't a fun conversation because he's more traditional in that sense. It's taken him so many more years of growing to come to a point where he's comfortable with it. And it's been exhilarating since then, because, you know, I came out at Mahindra. After MIT, I came back to India, I was working in Mahindra. It was a small step because at that time, I'd spoken to Anand Mahindra, who heads it, and I'd said that if my boyfriend relocates to India, I want the same benefits for him. You know, when I joined Godrej, it wasn't just I want equal rights for myself. I was like, we need to change policies for everyone. So even my own journey of coming out, of articulating my identity, of imagining a better world, it's been a process of growth even for myself. And, you know, now it's not just Godrej. I mean, now I want to create a world where at least corporate India, every company in India should be LGBT friendly, and then every institution in India should be LGBT friendly, so that whenever the courts decide to give us the same rights, society has kind of changed automatically.
I always knew who I was. I knew that I never liked girls, but then, like, it never came to me a point where I was confused about my sexuality. So I don't think, a lot of people ask me this question saying that when did you realize you're gay and all of that, but it was never a point. It was just right since the beginning. I'm not a cross-dresser, I'm not a transgender, I'm just a gay boy who's more on the effeminate side, I guess. When it comes to homosexuality or the LGBT community, it's a very vast spectrum. And like, there are gay men who are very manly, and there are gay men who are more on the effeminate side like me. But I mean, it's just Indian culture, which has, I think, kind of like, what would I say, stereotyped a lot of people. I have had straight friends who did not like me earlier, saying that, oh, you're gay, I can't be friends with you, and later on they became friends with me, and now they're some of the closest people that I have around. So I think it's just about knowing somebody, like understanding them.
I'm so out myself And I've had senior CEOs of, senior group companies come up to me and say, we were homophobic before, but just by your presence, just because you're here, just because you're so comfortable, we've read up and we've spoken to people, and now we realize that, our homophobia was just rooted in a lack of information. So thank you for being yourself so that we can be more open and more accepting. When people come out, when people stop invisibilizing themselves and they say, look, we're here, we're visible, people realize that, it's actually no big deal. LGBT people don't have horns or tails or anything. They're just regular people.
The first Pride Parade I went to, I cried for 3 hours. Because it was the first time I'd been with a crowd of gay people. The first time. And it was hundreds of thousands of people.
For almost close to a decade, I was living this internalized shame.
I thought I was the only queer people on this planet. But there is a community. You are not alone.
It's a moment when you lift up your chin and just say, you know what, this is me, and I'm just proud, and I'm just going to walk down the street and say, this is I am, and I'm not going anywhere.
Pride is beyond just coming out and waving a gay flag. It's about celebrating who I am, and also standing with people who cannot imagine pride like this. You are not alone.